Hey everyone, welcome back to Trailbreaker. Over the last couple years, my skills on a bike have definitely improved, but averaging 1 to 2 rides a week, maybe 10 to 30 miles at most,
sometimes 0.
I've struggled to maintain my speed or fitness, let alone improve. Then 3 months ago, I made some changes to my riding, which have had some amazing and unexpected results. Stick around. 3 months ago, I signed up for a 4-day mountain bike vacation trip. It was going to be all-inclusive with top-of-the-line bikes, lodging, and some of the best trail riding I would ever ride. The tour info spelled out skill requirements as well as an outline of what each day would look like. And it was going to be intermediate to advanced skills and 4 days of pretty intense riding up in the mountains, one of those days at a park. And the mileage was going to be between 60 and 70 miles with lots of climbing. Now, I rarely ride 2 days in a row, and I've never ridden 4, especially at that kind of an intensity. I wasn't really worried about the skills, and I wasn't really worried about my speed on the trails, but I really needed to work on my endurance. I needed to come up with a plan. And they made it very clear that if you couldn't keep up with the group, then you would have to sit out a day so you wouldn't basically negatively impact the people that spend a lot of money on the trip. I didn't have time to go full roadie, and really nobody wants to see that. And I really wasn't interested in doing some really crazy high intensity interval training program, which I've tried in the past. So I had to come up with a way to convince my AARP era legs to be able to push some pretty good efforts multiple days in a row, totaling about 70 miles, period. Now, since I travel usually 3 to 4 days a week for my job, whatever mileage I wasn't able to get on the bike, I would make up for it on either my indoor trainer or on hotel stationary bikes. Not ideal, but better than nothing. So I started focusing my real riding in the mountains here in Georgia. My goal was to have one sweet descent, and around that I would build a long route with at least one pretty good 1,000 to 1,500 foot climb that would force me to settle into a rhythm for, maybe about 30 minutes to an hour. My hope was that doing these longer climbs would add up. I also forced myself to get back on the bike after a big ride when I didn't really feel like it, just to try to get my legs used to working days in a row. Eventually, you kind of figure out there's a difference between being tired and being fatigued. If you're tired, you can ride through that, and it's probably good to do so. If you're fatigued, it's best to take a rest day and make sure you don't get yourself hurt. Within 2 weeks, I noticed my legs started to adjust to riding a couple days in a row. And after 4 weeks, I noticed that the effort that I used to be able to maintain for 10 miles, I could maintain for 20 miles. But my goal was still just to be able to increase my endurance. So, no surprise, I was starting to be able to ride further and ride more days in a row. The real surprise came when I went back and did my typical short rides on my home trails. I started crushing 2.5-year-old PRs on rides where I wasn't even feeling like I was even pushing that hard. What I was expecting was that I would be able to maintain the speeds that I had already achieved for a longer period of time. What I found out was I was able to ride faster in the beginning and still be able to maintain my old speed much longer. It was an eye-opener. Not only was I able to ride farther, I was able to ride faster. And because my motor wasn't constantly in the red, I was actually riding better. Riding became even more fun, and it made me want to go out and ride even more. It also gave me the confidence to start to tackle some longer rides with riders who I know who are both younger and faster than me. And even though I couldn't maintain their pace, I didn't drop too far behind. So am I suggesting something as novel and crazy as if you ride your bike more, you will get faster?
Because, dude, that could have been a 30-second video.
But yeah, I am. But I've ridden more in the past, and I have gotten slightly faster, and I've gotten stronger. But nothing compared to this. And I think it's the combination of incorporating some longer, challenging rides that incorporated a little more climbing, as well as multiple days in a row to achieve a very modest weekly goal. Now, your numbers may be different. For me, I was setting my goal for this trip. Whatever your goals are, tailor your plan for that. Fast is fun. And fun is why we do this, right? If you have any questions about the program that I did, if you think that it's just completely obvious, mention that in the comment section down below. This is not rocket science. I didn't invent a new theory on how to ride. I just decided to do it and found out it wasn't hard. It wasn't uncomfortable. I was still riding my bike and having fun on the trails. I just had to add a couple stationary bike trainers per week to make it happen. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're like me and refuse to act your age, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.